Have you ever wanted to change your life? Maybe change some habits, change some beliefs that you have, or just change your life, certain areas in your life? Did you maybe ever want to do something, start doing something, but you either didn't really know how or what? Now, if you are at the point right now where you say you just want to make a change in your life, but you're not quite sure where to begin, then this video is for you, because I want to share with you 5 powerful steps that you can start taking to start changing any area of your life. So if that's you, then stay tuned. Hello to beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so excited that you're here. But in case you don't know me, my name is Kay Sanders. I'm a divine messenger and celestial healer, here to assist awakening souls on their spiritual awakening journey so they can really awaken to their power within, step into their power, and create a life of more success, more abundance, and more freedom, all while living their life on purpose. Now, if that's you, I do want to extend an invitation. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Also hit the notification bell so you can get notified whenever I release new content, because that's really what I focus on this channel. It's all about the spiritual awakening journey. So I'm pretty sure you have tried to change your life many times in your life, no matter what it was, whether it was small or more bigger, or you just really want to make a complete overhaul. You probably experienced some challenge that either you weren't really sure what exactly you want to change, but you just knew that whatever your life was at that time, it wasn't really fitting you so well no more. You didn't really like it and you just want to make a change, but you didn't really know what, or then even how can you really change it. Because oftentimes when we're trying to change something, our monkey mind comes and like, no, we're not doing that. No, that's scary. Anything that you want to do, that's scary. We're not even going there, right? So you may then find yourself that you're not really changing much because either you didn't really know what exactly you want to change, or you didn't know how, and especially how to overcome the monkey mind from actually derailing you from actually making a change. Now, this can be just you trying to change different habits that you have. Maybe start doing something that you know would help you better your life, or maybe let go of certain habits. I mean, just for example, New Year's resolution. That is one great example. I mean, how many times have you set a New Year's resolution only to last maybe just a few days, a few weeks, or maybe you even made it a few months and then you went right back to the old self before you try to change something? Well, you see, the thing is, it's not that you can't change. It has nothing to do with it. It's simply because our monkey mind, our ego, our personality likes to stay safe, right? And anything that threatens that safety is not comfortable to the ego, and it does everything in its power to derail you. So even though the change would better your life, it's uncomfortable to the ego, to the personality, because, well, it's unknown, right? Right now, whatever you're experiencing, you know what it feels like because, well, you're living it, right? But that change for the better, that is a threat to the ego, to the personality, because that means you, for one, probably need to step outside of your comfort zone, and 2, well, your life is going to change. The ego doesn't know what it will be like, so there's then the fear of the unknown, which then also puts all kind of roadblocks in your way with the purpose of keeping you safe where you're at right now. So in this video, I want to share with you 5 powerful steps that can really help you change your life, and not just for a few days or for a few weeks or maybe even a few months. No, it can really change your life for the long term. But I do want to point out something that is very, very important, that is often overlooked by many, is that change doesn't happen by you doing something specific, you doing more or less of something. Change happens from within. So basically what I mean with this, you need to become that person from the inside out in order to keep the change alive. Because that's why any New Year's resolutions you ever had set didn't really plan out, because you tried to force this change from the outside, but deep within you weren't aligned to that change, so that's why it didn't really work. But with these 5 steps that I'm about to share with you, you can really change from the inside out, because everything is created from the inside out. Any change that you want to experience need to happen within first. You need to energetically align yourself from within to that. It's also the self-image. If you don't see yourself as that person that has what you want, you're not going to achieve it. Even though you can work your tail off trying to make it happen, it won't last, because if your self-image is not in alignment with what you want to create, that change, you are reverting back to the old that matches your self-image. So that's why I'm saying the most important thing here is that change happens from the inside out. And the 5 steps I'm about to share with you will help you do just that. So let's start with the first step. The first step is you want to get clear on what exactly do you want to change. Look at all areas of your life. Where do you feel a disconnect? Where do you feel that something is not right? It doesn't feel right. It doesn't fulfill you. It doesn't make you feel good. What is it that you want to change? And then also, why do you want to change that? Because that is very important. You have to start out with where is the disconnect in your life. Whether it's with relationships, with your health, with your success, with money, whatever it is, you have to get clear on what don't you like. Where are the disconnects here? What doesn't feel in alignment? Because you can't just change something without knowing like what exactly is it that you want to change, and also why. The why is very important. So let's say, for example, you feel like you need to lose a bunch of weight. Okay. Why do you want to do that? Do you want to do it because other people keep making fun of you or keep telling you you need to lose weight? Or do you want to lose weight because you want to be more fit and healthy and vibrant? That is very important. Or even let's say with your spiritual practice, for example, right? What do you want to change? Where's the disconnect right now? Let's say you're not feeling all that centered. You're always like blowing up, and you're always angry, and you're not really all that happy, and you really want to find a way to feel happy again. Then also ask yourself, why do you want to change that area? And what do you want to change about this? If you're really deeply connected with the spiritual way, then that is a great why for you to really then dive deeper into it. But also, when you're thinking about the why, if it really makes you feel absolutely great when you meditate daily, for example, or when you work with your oracle cards, or go out in nature and do walking, whatever it is, that if it makes you feel good, then stay with that. Even if other people may not understand why you want to do that or whatnot, doesn't matter. It's important what you want and why you want it. Right? So the first step is really get clear on where are your disconnects in your life. What are the areas that you want to change, and then also get some clarity of why. Why is it important for you to change that? And then the second step here is you want to get clear on what is it that you want then. So you know where you're feeling disconnected in your life. Now this next step is like, well, what do you want instead? And here you want to be crystal clear. Like really get crystal clear on what it is that you want. And here I want to invite you, go beyond just the materialistic. Because it's not about the materialistic things that you want, it's what it will give you. So for example, money. A lot of people, and I mean, we all want more money, right? But it's not the money that we want. It's what the money represents, which is freedom, possibility, choices. So the more money you make, the more choices you have, the more freedom you have, because then you don't have to worry about how I'm going to pay my bills. Do I even have enough money to buy this? I really want to go on a vacation, but well, I can't do because I don't have the money. Money gives you that. Money gives you the freedom. Money gives you the choices. Now, let's say you want to create a successful business. It's not so much that you want a successful business, it is what the successful business will give you. Well, if you have a business that you absolutely love, you will feel fulfilled. You will make a massive impact. The bigger your business expands and grows, only represents that you're making a heck of an impact. So go beyond the materialistic. Get clear on what is it that you want, and then go a little further. What will that thing that you want then give you? And also, it's about a way of being. So get clear on the experience that you will have. How will you feel? Let's say you will have a successful business. It will make you feel absolutely excited, joyful, expanded, impactful. It will deeply fulfill you. Money, the same thing. What will money give you? More money. You will feel absolutely supported, protected. You will feel free. Like really get clear on the feelings behind it as well. So the second step is really getting clear on what is it that you want. Like really, really, really crystal clear. And then also tap into whatever you want will give you, and the feeling that you will have when you have that. Because those first two steps are really important, because that moves you then into this third step, is you want to write a new story. So everything from this first and the second step is really leading into, then it gives you what you need to write that new story, because you know what you don't want. You know where you're feeling disconnected in your life. You know what you want. Now what we want to do is we want to write a letter. So imagine you're moving 3 years from now. You're really jumping into the future, and you're writing a letter to your current self, your present self, from that, from that future self. So that future self of you is writing the letter to your current self, your present self, explaining all these amazing things that have happened during that time. And you can do it about every area of your life. You can do it about your mission and purpose, or career and business. You can do it about your spiritual connection, spiritual growth. You can do it about money and freedom. You can do it about relationship and love, and then health and well-being. So these are really the 5 most important areas in your life, right? So you can write it for each area. You can start out with, I'm so happy and grateful now that, and you write present tense, like it happened, like it actually happened. You want to write from your future self's point of view, writing a letter to your present self, and get as clear and as detailed as possible. Go back to the list of the things that you want. Include that into that letter. Write down everything that you have experienced based on the things that you want. Include how amazing you feel, all these feelings that you're experiencing. Like, really get clear on that. Write that letter. You get to be the author of your own life, but you first got to get clear on what you don't want, what you want, and then put it into a story. And then the 4th and the 5th step will help you then bring it into reality. But really, write this letter from your future self, about 3-5 years from now, to your present self. You really think of it like that. You are sharing a story about how amazing your life has turned out to be. And you can be specific. So let's say you want to buy a beautiful home. So that include in that letter some aspects about the house. How big is it? How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms? What kind of kitchen does it have? Will it have a pool, a backyard, a double garage? Whatever it is. What is the color of the walls? Whatever you can think of. Get clear on that. Put as much detail into it as you want. Let's say you want to start a business or grow a business. You can write in there that you are working with amazing soulmate clients that come to you easily and effortlessly, and they're loving to work with you. They're always paying on time. They're actually ready and willing and able to pay your high-end fees. Whatever it is, get clear on it. Really go into detail. The more detailed you can be, the better it is. Because like I said, think of it like that. You're writing a chapter, or you're writing your story, your life story. So don't hold back. Put everything in it. So think of it like that. If you could write your life story of what you want, you probably wouldn't skip out on that, right? You would get clear on what it is that you want. If you were to know that whatever you're writing is going to happen. Because with these steps that I'm sharing with you, it can happen for you, or something even better. So get clear, write that new story. And then the 4th step is, once you have that story written, and of course you can always tweak it, by the way, right? Then you want to read it daily. Like, print it out, like type it up on a computer, print it out, and have it with you. Read it in the morning and read it in the afternoon or in the evening right before you go to bed. And really, as you're reading it, feel into it. Tap into that feeling. Really, you want to see it unfolding. And since you wrote that from your future self to your present self, it already happened. So the future version of you has written in a way that it already happened. So you're reading, like, you can really tap into the feeling of this is what's going to happen, and this is what happened. You can then also, as you're reading it, really connect with that future self of you, really embody that. And yes, it happened. Really feel great about when you're reading it. And here you want to become aware also, as you're reading your story, you can always tweak it. If there's anything that you had initially written that felt good at that time, but you read it a couple of times and you're like, I don't know if I really want that or in that way. So then you can tweak it. You always want to make sure that your story, when you're reading it, it fires you up from within. It really feels so great when you're reading it. But if there's anything, and even if it's just a tiny little thing that doesn't feel in alignment, that doesn't feel great, that doesn't light you up from within, here you want to make a change. Now, for example, let's say you wrote down that you want to make $1 million a year, but you're barely making just maybe $20,000, $30,000 a year right now. Now, that may be too big of a stretch. Now, of course, I'm not saying it's not possible. It may just for right now too big of a stretch for you that you feel misaligned to it. It's like that wish, but it's not that deep in knowing that, yes, that is what is going to happen. I can see it. I believe it. I just need to wait for it. So be clear, like when you're reading it and you're noticing that something feels more of like, I wish I could have that, but I don't really quite believe it, or it doesn't feel in alignment, then I want to invite you to rewrite that part. Use an amount, and especially as it comes to money, use an amount that feels right. Now, for example, I would love to make $1 million a year, but I know I don't feel in alignment with that yet. Right now, my goal is to make $30,000 a month. That's what I feel energetically aligned with. I know I can get there. I know I feel expanded enough to reach that. Would I feel comfortable making $1 million in a year? Not yet. I have not expanded my container of allowing yet enough to feel in alignment with that. Now, I will grow into it. The closer I get to my goal of $30,000 a month, then my container, my wealth container, my energetic wealth container will expand, and then I will get closer to that $1 million desire that I feel in alignment with it. So that's what I mean. You want to be clear that you want to be sure that whatever you're writing down, whatever your story is, really feels in alignment. That it's not just, oh, I wish, but I know it's not going to happen, or it's going to be very hard. You don't want any negative feelings in your story, because any negative feeling will cause you to self-sabotage. Because then you are just like, oh, it's not going to happen anyways. We don't want that. When you write your story, and then as you're reading it daily, it's supposed to make you really feel fired up. When I read my story every single day, I can feel it. I can see it. I know it's going to happen. I know it is going to happen. Now, I don't know the how yet or the when. That's a different story. I don't need to know that yet. What you want to do is you want to energetically align yourself on a daily basis to that new story. Because like I mentioned at the beginning, you create the change from the inside out. So you need to become that person. So the more you read your story and really tap into it, you feel it, you see it, you feel like you're already there. You know it's going to happen. Then you're shifting your vibration. Now, if you know anything about law of attraction, it's about you attract what your vibrational match to. So the more you align yourself to this story, and like I said, it really has to feel absolutely great when you read it. And if there's anything that doesn't feel great, change it, tweak it, take it out. I had taken out many things out of my story that at first felt great, but then as I was reading, I'm like, I really don't want that. You know, I mean, it was like a great idea at that point, but I really don't want that. And I just took it out, because you really want the story to fire you up from within, because then you're thinking about during the day as well. So if you're reading it in the morning and reading it at night right before you go to bed, you connect to that story. You connect to it on an energetic base, on an energetic level. And that's how you call it forth. And then the fifth step here is from that energetic alignment to that new story, you will then act from that. You then take inspired actions from that. So let's go back to money, for example. Let's say you want to make a certain amount each and every month, and you would be at that next level of you would be a certain way when it comes to money. You would feel great about money. You would always trust that money is always coming into your life. You're allowing money to come into your life. You're just really in such ease as it relates to money, right? So let's say that's part of your story. So when you align yourself daily to that story, you act from that. So then you can tune in, like, okay, let's say you get a bill in the mail And your usual reaction would be, ooh, I don't know where the money is going to come from. Oh my God, I don't know. I got to look at my budget. Can I make this happen? How can I shift things around? Or things like that. Or let's say you want to buy something and the first reaction is like, ooh, that's expensive. I can't afford that. If that has been your reaction or your response up until this point, but you know your next level version of yourself, that future self, doesn't have that problem because, well, you have so much money that you can buy what you want. You can pay the bills that you have without problems. Then you want to then tune in. Okay, if my future self would not act the way I'm acting right now, why would I? So then you can really use it as your baseline, as your GPS basically, because you know your future self would respond to bills and things that you want in a completely different way than you do. So here you can then adjust from that. You can react from that or respond from that. You can make choices from that place. Now let's talk about, for example, your spiritual work, right? Let's say you want to do a spiritual business. You want to operate a spiritual business, really make a big impact. And you know your future self has a business that is easy, that flows. You only do the things that really excite you. But then let's say you're taking a business course and they're telling you all these different things that you should be doing to grow your business. But deep down, you know none of the stuff feels in alignment. It doesn't feel easy. It doesn't feel like it's flowing. Then here you can choose. Well, you know your new story is that. Your future self is that. And has this kind of experience, and your current self is like not so much, right? There's a disconnect here. Here you can then choose to align yourself to that next level version of yourself, because as you're reading that story on a daily basis and really embodying that new story of what is that you want, then from here you can then choose, well, I really don't like this strategy. It doesn't feel right. So I choose not to do that because I know my story is going to unfold either way. So I'll do the things that I feel called to do. Well, instead of doing this, I feel called to actually do this instead. And you follow your inner guidance. You take actions from that energetic alignment to your story. And when you're in doubt, when you're not quite sure what to do, or you're about to slip back into your old self, then reread your story again. Tap into that again. And then from that space, like really get centered, get yourself centered into that new story. And then from that space, tune in. What do I want? What do I want to do? How do I want to show up? What do I want to experience? And then tap into that. These 5 steps are actually rather simple. The hard part then, of course, is then doing it. Aligning yourself to that on a daily basis. Becoming aware when your monkey mind is trying to derail you and telling you, oh, this is nonsense. I got to do more because otherwise nothing is going to happen. It's really not about making stuff happen or working your tail off to create that change. It's really about that inner world. You've got to change your self-image in order to grow into that person that has what you want. And then I'm not saying you don't do any action. That is not what I'm saying. You will do the right actions that are in alignment with that new story. Because anytime you're then doing anything, taking action or responding in ways that are misaligned to your new story, you're not creating it. You're staying stuck in your old way of being. That's why you have never been able to create the change that you want to change, because you didn't change your inner world. And it's really everything is created from the inside out. If you don't feel deserving of having a better life, if you don't see yourself as actually having that, then you're not going to be able to create it. But if you can see it within your mind's eye, like if you can tune in and you can see it, and writing that story will help you connect to that. If you can see it with your mind's eye, and if you're doing it on a daily basis, you keep seeing it, you keep seeing it, you keep seeing it, you're adjusting from the inside out to that new version. And that's how you create change in your life. That's how you create the reality that you want, that is in absolute alignment with what it is that you desire. Then the last step, it's not necessarily a step, but it's like the key aspects of this is, then you just have to be patient, because everything that you want is meant to come into your life if you're really energetically aligned to it. If you can really align yourself to that, if it's a soul desire, it's meant to happen. then the only thing is you have to be patient and allow it to happen, because like I said, you have to grow into that person that has that. It doesn't have to take 3 years though. The more you align yourself to that story, the more you really embody that new story, you will start seeing shifts. When I started this process for myself, and I kept tweaking it, I kept, really working on it to align myself really on an energetic level that it felt just right. It felt like a shoe that fit perfectly. My life started to change rather rapidly, because I kept aligning myself to that. Whenever I got a bill in the mail, I wasn't worried anymore because I knew everything is going to work out. So the more you do this, the more you align yourself to it, you will start to see shifts. You will notice that you internally start maybe thinking differently, believing differently, acting differently. You have a different kind of viewpoints at that point. Then you're noticing also maybe people come into your life to assist you in that. So it's really the more you align yourself to that daily, your life will then start, first maybe slowly, but then quicker and quicker. The more you align yourself to that, and then you see yourself as that version, you really embody that new self-image, then everything else outside of you will then fall in place that matches your inner image, that self-image, your vibration. Like I said, law of attraction. You attract what your vibrational match to. So align yourself energetically to that new, exciting, empowering story, and that's what you will then call forth. And then, like I said, you just gotta be patient. You just gotta trust it's on its way. And there's also divine timing at play. But if you can see it within your mind's eye, and you can align yourself daily, it is going to come into your life, this or something better. So here you go, you have the 5 steps. Now I have a question for you though. What new story do you want to experience? Get clear on what is it that you want. And I want to invite you, maybe leave a comment below. Let me know, what is it that you want to start experiencing? What is that new story of your life going to be? What is the chapter, or what's the title of your new chapter or new book for your life? Like I said, you get to be the author of your life. So get clear on what is it that you want and write that story, embody it daily, and allow it to unfold. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and be sure to check out this next video here. It's about the top 10 habits to embody to really empower yourself on a daily basis. So thanks so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you again next video. Until then, make an amazingly abundant, successful day. Namaste.